Welcome back to Windsor. We know the city is synonymous with the auto industry, and the impact of this trade war on auto workers tends to dominate the conversation. But the discourse around the fallout in the city, and it dominates it for good reason, but not to be ignored, is the impact of the agricultural sector in the Windsor-Essex region. Not just field farmers. The greenhouses here represent the second largest cluster of growers in the world. That's more than the U.S., more than the Netherlands. And they send 80% of their fresh tomatoes and cucumbers and peppers over to the U.S. So while the uncertainty of tariffs hangs over their head, listen, seed still has to be planted, and some product, in some cases, is already growing. So, Richard, we've traveled out of the city because what is happening outside of the city is a really important driver to the economy in this region. We're talking about greenhouse growers and agriculture. It's the #2 industry outside of manufacturing. How have tariffs impacted and will continue to impact this industry here?
I'll tell you this, on March 4th, when tariffs were implemented, over those 3 days, our members paid over $6 million in tariffs, just in this region. So all those shipments going over for 3 days cost our growers an additional $6 million that we won't see, we won't recover. That's something that the sector will eat.
So if that was the multi-million-dollar impact in just 3 days, what would a long-term trade war tariffs look like in this region?
You're going to have casualties. You'll have casualties. The larger producers and marketers may be able to sustain it. There'll be another round of consolidation. Yeah. But ultimately, we see an impact that will ultimately affect our members within 3 to 4 weeks if tariffs were to be implemented. We're not like an automotive plant. We can't shut the switch off. It's growing. We're in maximum production right now. The workers are needed right now. But if that demand stops and we have no outlet for that produce, ultimately those workers, whether they be domestic workers through the whole supply chain, will face layoffs.
Farmers and growers, they run small businesses and large businesses. They're independent thought and opinion, but we had a really challenging time when we came here telling that part of the story from their own voice. They all referred us to talk to you. What does that speak to the fear of retaliation from the U.S., that they don't want to be on camera talking about their concerns?
You have a reliance on the U.S. market. 85% of our produce is shipped south of the border. You look at all our trucks, the ownerships of these individual farms are crossing that border every day. They're very cognizant of repercussions, whether it be through trade or through crossing over for personal reasons.
Looking ahead past the weekend, we've got the election coming on Monday. South of the border, President Trump is saying to farmers and growers there, look, it's going to be rocky, just hang on. What do you want to hear from our politicians?
We need their support. We need their leadership at this time. We need them to hammer out a deal with the United States so we can continue this trading relationship.
Leo, we were talking about tariffs and farms. Obviously, we're at the time of the season where seed hasn't quite gone in the ground yet. It's about to. But what do you foresee being the impact on you?
Don't know what to expect. It depends on Trump. If he wakes up in a bad mood or a good mood, it's affecting the price we're getting for our old crop. If we haven't sold crop from last year yet, that's it. So it's declined quite a bit, mainly because of the U.S.-China tariff battle, because a lot of soybeans from Canada end up going to China. So it depressed the prices with the trade war. We've had trade wars before. Last time he was in power, it wasn't as bad as this, but we did lose $1 to $1.50 a bushel on our commodities, and same thing's happening now.
What happens to this region, Leo, if farmers all have to start tightening their belts? They've got less to spend.
We're a consumer like everybody else, right? So you look at pickup sales. Go to any car dealer around here, 75% of their pickup sales are farmers. And traditionally, most farmers will trade off their pickups every 2, 3, 4 years. Well, that ain't happening now. Everybody's going to hang on to the pickups they have, so pickup sales are going to die. Tractor sales, equipment dealers, there's 5 equipment dealers in the county here. I bet you they probably won't sell a handful of tractors amongst a whole bunch of them this year because everybody's going to sit tight and not spend any more money. And unfortunately, that affects the whole community, right?
If you like that video, make sure to subscribe to the Your Morning YouTube feed, where you can find all kinds of new content posted every weekday morning.